My Eggo waffles. I ain't trying to be aggressive, but people look at me like I'm an old man. I came back from resurrecting. They look at me like I came back from the dead, like it's Resident Evil. But they don't even understand that I'm actually more human than you ever can. This is why I'm what you call the ex-human. I'm just different. I'm artistically different. What's up? This is your King of the Night, Vincent Valentine EX Turk, and well, coming to back up at you, Archfiends of Chaos, with a brand new video, um, dealing with Final Fantasy and gaming, dealing with Final Fantasy and Nintendo. Now there was actually a little post that got me curious and thinking. Yes, I know that they might want to port Final Fantasy VII Remake to the Switch, but that'd be too big for it to handle. I mean, even just the graphics alone would be too much for the Switch to handle. So, I mean, if I could suggest something to Square Enix, I'd suggest that this major tease should be something else. That Nintendo once owned a Final Fantasy that became one of the other greatest Final Fantasies besides 7, since PS4 is going to get the remake, of course. So, and Kingdom Hearts 3, even though it has less graphics, it's still going to be too harsh on the Switch. So I think it'd be possible, to put another big title, another one, but a remake. And I was thinking, why not Final Fantasy VI? Final Fantasy VI is just as deserving as Final Fantasy VII. Even though I only played through a little bit of 6, I did enjoy Final Fantasy VI a little bit. Because it was like one of the simpler games. So I think maybe for the biggest project that they should focus on is the Final Fantasy VI remake for the Switch. Not only that, this will make people want to buy Switch. Now, if you port this over to Xbox One and PS4, the problem is, then they're not going to really want to buy the Switch, which this could actually get a good amount of business deals going on, because then you're going to have to buy an entire console to play this remake, of Final Fantasy VI. Now, maybe the graphics might be GameCube-ish, PlayStation 2 era, but I don't even think the fans care if it's like Final Fantasy VII HD remake, type of graphics, since those are going to be exclusively for Final Fantasy VII remake, because Final Fantasy VII remake is going to be on the PlayStation 4 most likely. I think this would be genius to actually put Final Fantasy VI on the Nintendo Switch, so people would have to buy a Switch in order to play it. Remake with voice acting and all that stuff, but with, at least PlayStation 2 graphics. I don't even think people are going to care it's PlayStation 2 graphics, to be quite honest. I mean, Final Fantasy VI has been waiting to win as much as, 7 has. Of course, we already knew 7 was going to get the remake in the first place, but, this would be another good remake that's not a remaster that would be perfectly for a different console like the Switch. I mean, I would personally purchase a Nintendo Switch just to play Final Fantasy VI Remake as well, because this will be a lot entertaining and as well. And if they do decide to port the Cydia NT onto the Nintendo Switch later on, maybe you'll get exclusive costumes from the Final Fantasy VI Remake that you can port over to the Cydia copy. Plus, it'd be nice to take it with you everywhere you go, like a con or something like that. You take it to a hotel room and play hours on end, especially with voice acting and everything, to get everything working. Now, granted, it's gonna have to be a PS2 graphics, because Final Fantasy VI is just as long as Final Fantasy VII, at least from what other people tell me, because there's like multiple endings of Final Fantasy VI, depicting each character ending individually after the defeat of Kefka Palazzo. So, they're gonna, even if they have to put on PS2 graphics, that's fine with me. But I don't see why we can't have Final Fantasy VI remake. but maybe not by Katarse or Tetsunomura. Maybe a different team will be working on Final Fantasy VI, and God, no, not Tabata. Tabata should stick to spin-off games and stay on spin-off games. Just saying. But I'm thinking maybe the team that made Final Fantasy Crystal Bears for Nintendo Wii could go back to making the Final Fantasy VI remake using the graphic system of the Crystal Bears. So it'd be, something that'd be looking forward to, if anything else. So, maybe that will, suffice. I don't know. But I think it could be a possibility within the realm of possibilities to actually make, to make a Final Fantasy VI remake with Crystal Bears graphics, good voice acting. Now, as for Terra, I kind of want Terra to actually be the same voice actor it has on Dissidia. And same thing with Kefka. I'd like Kefka to have his same voice actor. I don't think anyone could do Kefka better than he does. Even though he kind of sounded too much like the Joker, it was actually pretty good. Or if they, come to think of it, I mean, if Final Fantasy could actually afford it for the 6th remake, I think maybe Mark Hamill should probably be able to play Kefka, since Kefka's a lot like the Joker, and that'd make it better, I mean, because right now, since, Square Enix is about making money, since they're about making money, I don't see why, you can't have good, real talents as your characters. Now, I don't think this is going to be made for a while, because right now they're focusing on Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Those are the two games that are being focused on, like big games. And then there's Dissidia, but Dissidia isn't really a big game. It's just an arcade fighter with polished graphics. I love the Dissidia. That's probably why they need to work on a story mode in Square Enix, because they really want to focus all their attention on Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, as well as other big title games that have coming out, because that's exactly the present day Square Enix is all about making money. It's all about making huge bank. That's what it's all about, is making huge bank. So it's like, you do gotta understand that they're not gonna be making this for a while, like probably 4 or 5 years down the line, and they'll most likely use the team for Crystal Bears or any other spin-off game, Final Fantasies, and maybe, I don't know, Tabata helped work on it, but didn't work on the Final Fantasy VI remake. That would be better if he just helped, like put a little direction, but didn't, make the game like how Final Fantasy 15 was, where putting ridiculous stuff. Plus, this will also give me a chance to put back the stuff that was in the Game Boy Advance Final Fantasy VI. The extra bosses that were in Final Fantasy VI Game Boy Advance Edition. So, in complete 3D, kind of like how Final Fantasy IV was. But Final Fantasy IV was kind of like the Final Fantasy VII original polygon model. That's the polygon models. Now, since you could port this into an actual console, and Nintendo Switch has a little bit more power than the 3DS. I think it could be possible for a PS2 graphics, Crystal Bears looking graphics, fully voice acting, Final Fantasy VI, and be able to make it as long as this, because, the graphics are going to be comparable to the Final Fantasy, 10 and 12 on the PS2, little bit, at least for the highest, and the cutscenes don't even have to be completely CGI. They could just leave those out if they want to. But I think this is why I think Final Fantasy VI remake on the Nintendo Switch is a good idea. This will get people to buy a Nintendo Switch. Switch. And, you know, since Final Fantasy 7 Remake's going to be on the PS4 as an exclusive, if they add one exclusive to the Switch, they could be making money from both Nintendo console players and PS4 console players, you know, and then make one remake for either the Xbox One or the PC. But either way, if you target all console players and PC players, you'll be Square Enix will actually be rolling in dough, since 7 is going to be exclusively to PS4. That's what I think, and may the crystal be with you.